I'm going to talk to you today on a highly sensitive issue, tea and its relationship with elevated emotions. Going back a trace, let's talk about terroir. Now, how terroir creates the flavor of beverages and by rote impacts the elevated emotions. What is terroir? Terroir is all about the slope, the soil, the genus of the plant, the season of harvest, and the area-specific locale, which has a diversity of flora and fauna which impacts the plant. One's location, for example, a person living in a high-mounted wooded area has a different emotional development to that of a plains dweller in a bustling city downstream. Hence, food and beverages with a distinct terroir influences folk physically, intellectually, and spiritually. More so if the food is organic in nature. To understand a bit of terroir, its impact, we need to realize how important geology plays a role. Let's go back 1 billion years. Gondwanaland joined the Asian mass to create the Himalayas on impact, which is now the peninsula India. Gondwanaland was a massive island. On impact, the Himalayas grew and continues to grow to this day. By the time we finish the stock, possibly Mount Everest be a couple of centimeters taller. So you need somebody new to conquer it, wouldn't we? South of it is India, where 90% of the lands are fertile. A great civilization emerged because of the soil fertility. The Indus Valley civilization, the Mauryas, and of course, the Mohenjo-daro Empire. Education, culture, affluence followed in its wake, as did the pursuit of spirituality. North of the Himalaya lay China. 90% of her land infertile mountains. Mandarins ruled China. The Mandarins who visited the southwestern neighbors in India to study the reasons for the affluence and the achievement invited Bodhidharma. The earliest record of tea elevating emotions was thus born after his visit in the early 500 to 600 years CE. Bodhidharma, a monk from India, visited China and started a meditation in one of the most famous temples chosen by the Mandarins. During his demonstration at the temple, he shut his eyes and went into a deep, deep trance. He awakened years later. Meanwhile, the Mandarins had been maintaining a strict vigil to prevent any intrusions and to let Bodhidharma continue meditating. Bodhidharma, on emerging from his meditation, pulled some dried leaves from a pouch and proceeded to sip the steamed brew from the leaves. His eyes cleared slowly. His benign countenance glowed after each sip. of the miraculous herb. This was Sanjivani. The mandarins, in all this remarkable transformation and feat, begged him to tell them of the source of this wondrous herb, how the secrets of his magic potion. Smilingly, benignly, he took seeds out of a pouch, and out of this emerged the first batch of teas which would transform entire Chinese culture. The legend of Simonses was born. Centuries later, the illegal shipments of opium by the East India Company in clandestine China coves where they dumped it, returned laden with tea to England. It popularized it to such a degree it became a high-class society beverage. Of course, the person who made it successful and popular was the Duchess of Bedford. She was under the weather after a hearty lunch where she'd invited 200 odd guests. She'd imbibed a little too much and eaten too much. Late that afternoon, the Duchess emerged from her squeamishness and decided to quaff it with her tea. But being royalties, she asked her servants to lay out a spread, not only with the tea, but with sandwiches, pastries, cakes, and lots of her county friends. This was conducted at 5 p.m. at her Belvoir Castle. It was such a success, everybody's spirit was uplifted. Everybody had a trial time. They were happy, they were joyous, as was the Duchess. She was so uplifted by it, by herself, that she continued this practice when she returned to her London home, and thus set the trend for high tea. This not only healed all the traumas caused by high living in high society, but it also caused a balm and created a trend that created jobs and industries with accoutrements and pastries. Business boomed. Hence, tea became a cure-all, whether one was ill or one was romancing in a quiet tea room or spreading bonhomie in a large gathering, high class, with a soft, gentle, melodious harpist to take away the strains of governance. There are so many aspects to tea. Today, it cuts across the swath of humanity. Everyone drinks tea. It is the second largest consumed beverage after water. I would like only to talk about the wellness impact that tea has earned itself today. Because most of the diseases that we experience are psychosomatic, it's in the mind. And if you're in a better frame of mind, then we don't suffer so much. So, medical researchers globally continue to discover health-boosting nutrients in tea. Why? Because the emotional impact it has. They want to back it up with medical science. Tea particularly, green tea and first flush Darjeeling teas have shown that contain disease-fighting enzymes that protect one's body by fighting free radicals and molecules. Imagine a video game like bright silver sharks, wide mouths, opening and shutting at the mouth, chasing, swinging after big bad bugs, gobbling them before they can cause damage to the human body. That's what antioxidants which teas has and catechase does to fight oxidants and carcinogenic cells. Past and ongoing medical research show that imbibing organic polyphenol catechin-rich tea lowers the risk of heart disease, cancer, and even, mind you, anti-aging. Supermodels, be aware, your high emotions will be intact on seeing the first wrinkles provided you drink 10 cups of first class Rajah tea. The most heartwarming story I must share, which I got from Chinese history, is a story of Ming-My, who resided during a very cruel emperor's regime in the dynasty of Sin, TSIA. The emperor was so cruel and tyrannical that all the people lived in abject fear and trauma. Ming-My had a magic cup of tea that never emptied. She sat in the marketplace with a cup for whoever wanted to drink of it. Troubled people, traumatized people, full of pain, anger, fear, drank from this cup that never emptied, and their woes vanished magically. People heard of this cup. The legend grew, and the queues grew to drink of this cup, forcing the emperor to summon her to his court to forsake the cup to him for more power. It was a magic cup, only for good, and hence could not be found. Ming-My was thrown in the deepest dungeon in anger, but she was a magic lady too. And in the next full moon night, when the moonbeam entered the deepest dungeon, she streamed out in a beam. She circled the Himalayas for centuries and centuries, till at last she found a repository, Rimpocha cups. It is here to uplift global emotions holistically. Thank you.